The cabin door still creaked in my memory. It hadn't even been 24 hours since we'd escaped by seconds. The children were safe. That's what I kept repeating to myself like a mantra. Anna by my side, a deadly ampule in her pocket, hollow eyes, eternal silence. The road ahead was nothing but fog, and inside me, even darker. Everything seemed calm, but I knew better. The calm always comes before the storm. "Do you trust me now?" Anna asked in the silence without looking at me. I wanted to say yes, wanted to say that all had been forgiven, but my hands were still shaking. My knees still burned from the thorny undergrowth of the night before. My children were still far away, and the truth, still hidden somewhere behind her eyes. The Jeep pushed forward on the dirt road, mud rising along its sides. Isabel was driving, tense, always tense. Carolina, the journalist's sister, was waiting at a property further north. Point B, as they called it. Pretty name to hide the reality. Hideout, refuge, last stop before hell. "We'll rest when we get there," Anna said. But no one would rest. Not with the ampule in her pocket, the fear in our chests, and doubt throbbing in our throats. How many secrets can one person carry before exploding? How many truths would you hide if the price was your children's lives? The Jeep skidded slightly, a metallic noise in the gears. Isabel muttered a curse. Anna didn't move. I just clutched the bag in my lap tighter. The thermal box with the ampules, 2 miniature apocalypses, one with me, another with Anna, and the third, somewhere between us and our pursuers. 3 ampules, 3 cities, 3 chances to decimate what remained of hope. "Do you think Carolina will make it?" I asked, more to myself than to Anna. If anyone can, it's her. Silence, silence, silence. The kind of silence that screams. The kind of silence that announces something is about to break. The road began to descend, curve, disappear between trees. On the car radio, static. Isabel was trying to contact someone. No success. Eyes on the rearview mirror. Always. "From here. No signal. We're almost there," she warned. Almost. Almost is never enough. The cabin appeared between dry branches, windows covered with newspapers, rusty wire fence, the perfect appearance of abandonment. Carolina greeted us without words. Her gaze, hard, direct, swept over each of us like a magnifying glass. Children, safe. Anna, alive. Me, broken. She hugged me. A hug without warmth, from survivor to survivor. "We need to talk," she said. Of course we did, but no one was ready. Not even me, especially not me. The room smelled of mold and old cigarette smoke. Carolina led us to a back room. Maps on the wall, photos, newspaper clippings, faces crossed out with red ink, a mural of chaos. The chaos had a name, Project Artemis. "This goes beyond what you imagine," she began, throwing a dossier on the table. Pages and pages. Anna in meetings. Me, in the background, always in the back. Photos of me with the children, at school, at the supermarket, at the beach. We had been watched for years. "You were also part of the plan, Jorge. From the beginning." My stomach turned. I already knew, but hearing it from her mouth was different. I was part of the staging, the perfect husband, the chemistry teacher no one would suspect. I was chosen. Like Anna, like Isabel. All pawns, all programmed. But why me? I was just a teacher. You were the only one with access to a synthesis chain they didn't have. Anna had been watching you since university. Your research was what caught their attention. She loved you, Jorge, but she also used you. Sharp words, like a razor to the throat. She said the love was real. Maybe it was. Maybe it still is. But the truth is, you were always part of the equation. Equation. Formula. Ampule. It all came back to this. "There's more," said Carolina, turning another page. "Project Artemis is just the surface. There are other formulas, other scientists. They call it the Protection Agreement, but it's a pretty name for saying biological weapons. My vision blurred. How many more? How many Annas exist? They're activating others like you, silently, and they need to eliminate loose ends. We are loose ends, I whispered. You are uncontrollable variables, and that's why you need to disappear. The children were in the next room, laughing at something. Mariana was probably telling bad jokes. Guilherme pretending not to laugh. Pedrinho asking questions. The sound of innocence. A sound that didn't deserve to end. We have little time, said Carolina. We need to disappear, but first we have to decide what to do with the ampules. Destroy them, I said. We can't. They contain the original data, the only chance to create a complete antidote. The ampule in my pocket felt heavier. Too much power for too few people. Too much risk for too many people, she replied. Anna entered the room. We have 24 hours before they track this location. The decision needed to be made, but what to save first? The family? The world? Night fell like a curtain. Outside, crickets sang. Inside the cabin, no one slept. Anna paced back and forth. Isabel cleaned weapons. Carolina adjusted maps. I just stared at the ampule. The same question hammered in my head. How far does love go? On the table, fake passports. 3 routes, 3 destinations. Complete separation. Is there no other way? I asked. There is, Anna replied. Stay and die. She always had sharp answers, always had plans. But this time, something in her trembled. Jorge, she approached. Trust me. You want me to trust? After everything? No. I want you to choose. Either hate me or follow me. But choose. Choose. Between hatred and escape. Between anger and hope. Between death and a new name. The children were sleeping now. In sleeping bags, on the floor, as if it were a camping trip. So innocent. So fragile. And us. Monsters or heroes? I'll go with you, I answered. Anna nodded. A slight smile. A contained tear. We'll need you to be strong. Then stop hiding things from me. She hesitated, then took out a flash drive and placed it in my hand. This is all that remains of the formula. The original. The ampules are partial copies. Were you going to tell me? Yes, when it was safe. So never, I retorted. She didn't answer. She just left the room. I was left with the flash drive in my hand. A key. A burden. Outside, a branch cracked. Someone was approaching. It was just the beginning of another long night, and perhaps the last. The branch that cracked outside wasn't the wind. It was the exact sound that awakens all the primitive instincts in the human body. Anna appeared at the bedroom door in absolute silence. Isabel already held her gun. Carolina turned off the only light in the room with a quick touch. Only the sound of our own fear remained. We crouched down, me with the flash drive still in my hand. The children were still sleeping. Only Pedrinho moved, muttering something about dinosaurs. I smiled sadly. Dinosaurs weren't dangerous. Real men were. The ones coming after us didn't have scales, but they knew exactly where to aim. Isabel approached the window. 3 cars, without headlights, were slowly positioning themselves on the dirt road. It was them. They were testing us. Their silence was more threatening than any siren. We have 15 minutes, Max, said Isabel. Anna confirmed. Plan 2. Plan 2. The one that started with the phrase I feared most. If we get separated, you run. The children were awakened with whispers. Carolina cradled Pedrinho. Mariana held my hand. Guilherme, even without understanding, already had the eyes of a tired adult. He knew. He had known since the beach. The flash drive was now in Anna's pocket. She wanted to be the target. Make them believe she still carried everything. If they catch me, you continue, she said, looking into my eyes. You, Jorge. Not Isabel. Not Carolina. You. And there, again, I was the chosen one. Not because they trusted me, but because no one would suspect me. The teacher. The father. The idiot. Cars stopped. Footsteps in the brush. Low voices. One of them coughed. They were setting up a perimeter. Isabel ordered us to split up. 2 groups, one with the children and the fake flash drive, another with the real ampules. The world depends on this, Anna murmured. And our children too, I replied. She nodded, for the first time, without a ready answer, just a knot in her throat. Time was running out, as always. We ran through the dense forest. Me, Isabel, and the 2 remaining ampules. The real one, and my choice. The slippery ground, branches scratching my face. Behind us, voices. They were spreading quickly, very quickly. This forest won't hold them for long, Isabel said through clenched teeth. We need the clearing. The clearing leaves us exposed, I replied. It's that or die here. Pedrinho laughing in my ear. Memory echo. Guilherme telling me, Dad, you're acting strange. Mariana asking for ice cream. Love hurts more when it runs with you. The clearing appeared suddenly. The moon, cruel, illuminated everything. We were naked, vulnerable, and didn't know how many eyes were watching us. Isabel threw a flare into the air. A code, a request, or a trap. Was someone supposed to pick us up? I asked. Yes, she replied, but I'm not sure if they're still alive. Panic. Everything was assumption now. From the other side, I heard a muffled scream. Anna? I asked. Isabel pulled me. Don't look back. But I did, and I saw a figure fall. Anna! I was forcefully restrained. If you go back now, everyone dies. I can't leave her. She told you to run, Jorge. Run! The trees exploded in sounds. A shot, 2. A flash, smoke. Isabel pushed me down a side trail. I almost fell, but I continued. Trembling hands. The thermal box pressed to my chest. The ampules pulsing like a nuclear heart. We reached a smaller, abandoned cabin. Isabel locked the door, moved furniture urgently. We had little time, very little. If they catch me, destroy everything, she said, including the flash drive. And if it's a bluff, what if they just want to use it as currency? You still believe there's negotiation with monsters? I didn't answer, because deep down, I wanted to believe. Believe that someone, somewhere, could still hear us, forgive us. Inside the cabin, everything smelled of wet wood and mold. Isabel took off her coat, revealing a deep scar on her shoulder. It was 4 years ago, she said. The day I killed the man who killed my husband. I remained silent. The weight of revenge has a smell. Dried blood, rotten memory. The thermal bag was now on the table. The ampules inside, sleeping, waiting, small goddesses of destruction. You know what to do if everything goes wrong? She asked. Destroy it all, even if it costs my life. And are you willing? I took a deep breath, looked again at the mental photos of my children. Yes, I was, because even if everything was a lie, the love was true. Isabel approached the wall, removed 2 boards, a tunnel behind them. Emergency plan, she explained, leads to the riverbank. If they catch me, you run through here. Enough running, I said. We need to turn the tables. She smiled, a broken, painful smile. You turned the tables when you decided to stay. The radio crackled. A signal. Isabel froze. Carolina? She asked. Nothing. Then a voice. Target captured. The man has the ampules. Instructions? My blood froze. They were listening to everything. We had been intercepted. Plan 3, she whispered. What's Plan 3? She looked at me. You give me the ampule. I let them catch me. You disappear. No, we've already lost Anna. We're not going to lose you. I lost myself years ago, Jorge. I'm just finishing what I started. She took the ampule and walked out the door. I screamed, but silence answered back. Alone. Again. With an impossible choice in my hands. The silence of the cabin was an echo of the emptiness inside me. Isabel had left. The ampule was with her. And I was alone with the thermal box, a second ampule, and the sound of my own heart trying to escape my chest. I stood still for a few seconds, the kind of pause that brings no peace, only doubt. The door was ajar. The wind swayed the torn curtains. The radio continued to crackle, a sickly crackle that resembled distorted voices, incomplete commands. And then she spoke. North, following the riverbed. Prepare for extraction. It was Anna's voice. Anna alive. Anna somewhere still trying to play chess with destiny. But how? How was she on their channel? How did she survive the siege? How was she... Speaking from there, I picked up the radio. Anna? Silence. Anna, it's me. Jorge, are you... Shh. Don't speak. Just listen. They think you're dead. Isabel delivered the fake ampule. You still have the real one, don't you? Yes. Yes, I had it. Then listen carefully. I only have seconds. Her voice was urgent, cut by static and interruptions, but alive. Painfully alive. They're using me as a bargaining chip. They want to hand me over to an allied cell. They'll only keep me alive until the delivery. You need to get there first. Tell me where, Anna. She hesitated. A loud noise. A scream in the background. Next transmission in 10 minutes. Get everything ready. The radio died. I looked at the ampule, then at the tunnel, then at the void. My hands were shaking. My legs barely supported me, but I knew what I needed to do. Love is a code, and mine was alive. If Anna was still fighting, I would fight too. I opened the tunnel, swallowed the pain, embraced the fear, and went. The world outside was waiting for me, with sharp teeth, and too many secrets. The tunnel was tight, dark, full of roots and moisture. Each movement raised dust. Each breath hurt. The ground seemed to swallow me bit by bit, but I kept going. Not for me. For her. For Anna. For everything that could still be saved. 50 meters later, I saw the light. A small, flickering point at the end of the corridor. I crawled there with the ampule pressed against my chest. The light was real. And on the other side, the river. The old Sapucaí flowed impassively, as if nothing mattered, as if we weren't at war. The bank was empty. No sign of Anna, nor Isabel. But there was a boat, tied up, solitary, as if someone had left it just for me. I got in. I prayed. Not out of faith, but out of desperation. The current carried me away. As I drifted downstream, Anna returned. "Can you hear me?" The voice on the radio whispered. "Yes, I'm here. I'm coming." "Good. They think you're dead." Isabel confirmed the body. The body? She used the corpse of one of the agents, swapped the documents, put a piece of your jacket on it. They're not sure, but they prefer to believe you turned to ash. Now listen. I'm going to be taken by helicopter in 2 hours. I need you to intercept me before that. How, Anna? I'm in a boat, alone, with an ampule that could kill an entire city. You have everything you need, Jorge. You have courage, and you have me. The radio crackled. The last phrase echoed. You have me. Simple words, but painful, because all that she was, truth, lie, mother, spy, was still mine. The boat docked at an improvised clearing, a landing zone. Recent footprints, signs of a camp, and a sound in the sky. Helicopter. They were coming. I ran to the highest point of the trail. I hid among the rocks, the thermal box still in my hands. My back ached, my chest heavy, but I saw Anna, tied up, handcuffed, an agent on each side, hair loose, face dirty, but she was alive, and she saw me. Her eyes found me. For a second, everything stopped. The world, the sound, the time. She blinked slowly. A code. Our code. Execute. I jumped from the rocks. 3 shots, 2 screams, a single focus. Anna. Jorge! She shouted. I ran. She threw herself to the side. The agents tried to shoot. The box fell. Ampule exposed. Everyone froze. One more step, I shouted, and everyone dies. Silence. Let her go. They hesitated. A radio crackled. Negotiate, said a voice. No deaths today. Anna was released. We ran, ampule in hand, alive, for the second time, and perhaps for the last. The brush closed behind us as if trying to hide our trail. Anna ran in front of me, even injured. A cut on her arm was bleeding, but she didn't stop. I carried the ampule against my chest like a father carrying a newborn amid an explosion. We had no plan, just instinct. The sound of the helicopter moving away was the only temporary relief. They didn't know we had escaped. Not yet. But it was a matter of minutes. And we knew what would come next. A hunt. No rules, no warning, no mercy. Where to now? I asked, breathless. We have to get to Carolina's farm. It's our last chance. And Isabel? If she survived, she'll meet us there. If not, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. We walked for hours. Each step hurt. Each tree seemed like a threat. The world had shrunk. There was no more school, supermarket, living room couch. Just wilderness, silence, and the lethal ampule that weighed tons in my hand. Late in the afternoon, we saw smoke. The farm. Carolina was waiting for us at the gate, with guns, hollow eyes, and tired hope. "Where is Isabel?" she asked. "We don't know," Anna replied. Carolina said nothing. She just opened the gate. We entered. The house seemed like a place from another life. A hidden childhood. A good memory in a rotten world. But inside, the tension was greater than outside. "They will track you," said Carolina. "They must be on their way." "We have little time," Anna added. The decision was made there. Deliver the ampule. Reveal everything. Leak the documents. Throw the apocalypse onto the world's shoulders and pray that truth still meant something. While Anna and Carolina transferred the data, I sat with the children. Mariana wouldn't stop hugging me. Pedrinho slept in my lap. Guilherme watched me, serious as always. "Dad, is it true that Mom is like a hero?" I froze, then smiled. "Sort of. And you?" "I just tried to protect you all." He nodded, then said something that destroyed my chest. "Thank you for not running away." I couldn't answer, because I almost did run. Many times. That night, when everything was ready, when the data had been sent to 4 international outlets, when everything seemed resolved, a noise cut through the silence. Tires, engines, doors slamming. They were here. They surrounded the farm. And then, gunshots. There was nowhere left to run. The first window shattered with the dry impact of a bullet. Then the second. The screams began before the shots ceased. Carolina pulled the children to the basement. Anna threw herself to the floor with the laptop still connected. I dove on the thermal box. If the ampule broke, no one would get out alive. "Jorge!" shouted Anna. "Disconnect the system. Now!" I tried, but something jammed. The system was being invaded. Someone outside had connected. They were trying to erase everything. That was it. They didn't want to kill. Not yet. They wanted to destroy the evidence. Clean everything up. Again. As they always did. "They've invaded the system," I shouted. Carolina appeared with an external hard drive. "Here, take it. It's the only offline copy." She handed me the drive and looked at me with that same look from the cabin. "You know what to do." Yes, I knew. Run. Again. But now with everything. With the proof. With the ampule. With the last piece of truth. "And you?" I asked. "We'll distract them. You escape through the back. With the children." "No, they stay. They'll appear to be civilians. You are the target." I shook my head. "I can't leave them." "You're not leaving them. You're protecting them the only way you still can." Anna approached. Red eyes, cold hands, heart at war. "Jorge, don't say anything. Just take care of them. Please." She nodded. For the first time, without strength, just love. I took the hard drive, the box, the ampule. I went. I fled through the plantation. Wet ground. Dark. A shot crossed the air. Another. But I didn't stop. A scream. I didn't look back. If I looked, I would stop. If I stopped, I would die. The motorcycle was where they said it would be. Hidden behind the barn. Key in the ignition. I took it. Started it. Accelerated. I left. Alone. The GPS in my pocket vibrated. A blue dot on the screen. A new destination. A new contact. Last chance. Tears ran down my face. But I didn't stop, because now it was all or nothing. Now it was the world or oblivion. The open road swallowed me, and on the horizon, the question that still haunts me: what hurts more, keeping the silence or releasing the truth? If you've ever felt this, comment now. A word, a heart, a sign. Say that you're there, that we're not alone, because no one survives unscathed between truths and lies. But together perhaps we rebuild. If this story touched you, share it. Show it to someone who needs courage, someone who is running from something, or from themselves. And if you want to continue, leave a comment. I want part 3, because the story isn't over yet. Because as long as memory exists, voices will exist. And as long as there's voice, the truth still lives. Part 03. 3 days have passed since the escape. 3 days since I heard Anna's voice. Haven't seen Carolina's confident smile. 3 days since I hugged my children. But the ampule was still with me. Cold, silent, lethal. The motorcycle took me to where the GPS indicated. A decrepit house in the interior of Paraná, next to a field forgotten by time. The grass grew without permission. The gate creaked as if protesting. Nothing there seemed safe. Nothing there seemed real. I turned off the engine, let the helmet fall to the ground, and walked to the door. 2 knocks. A pause. 3 knocks. The code Anna taught me. The door opened slowly. A man with a white beard, crystal blue eyes, and scars on his hand stared at me. "Dr. Silva?" he asked with an accent laden with mystery. "That's me. She said you would come." He let me in without further questions. Inside, nothing was familiar. Maps, radios, transmitters, another cabin, another hideout, another piece of a silent war. "Where is she?" I asked. "Anna? The children?" He sighed. "Gone." "What do you mean, gone?" "After the attack on the farm, we tracked signs of life. Anna activated an emergency signal for 7 seconds. Then nothing. 7 seconds. 7 seconds to say she was alive, or to say goodbye. And the children? They were last seen with Isabel. Then they disappeared too." I sat down. The weight was too much. The hard drive still in my pocket. The ampule pressed to my chest. All that remained of our attempt to save the world. "You still have the formula?" he asked. "Yes," he nodded. "Then we have a chance." "Chance for what?" "To change the rules." Outside, a crow cawed loudly. An omen. A warning. The man looked out the window. "They know you're here. The war wasn't over. It was just beginning." The man's name was Raphael, a former intelligence agent who, according to himself, officially died in 2013. Since then, he had been living in the underworld, monitoring the movements of the same organization that now hunted us. He was the kind of man who knew too much to be alive, but was too good to kill. They'll come for you. Not because they underestimate you, but because you still have the only piece missing in the game. What? The hardest part of all, conscience. I spent hours listening to Raphael talk about other cells, other scientists, about an invisible network of silent operations that seemed straight out of a paranoia film. But nothing was fiction. Everything was real. I knew that now. From the bottom of a drawer, Raphael showed me something that made me freeze. A photo. Anna, smiling, with Carolina beside her, and 2 children in the background. But they weren't our children. They were others. This photo was taken 2 weeks ago in Uruguay. That's impossible. The children were with me. Maybe not all of them. The world spun. They have replicas. Children trained to simulate presence, used as shields, distractions, and sometimes replacements. My throat dried up. Do you think? No, your children are real. But the enemies create false families, false routes, false versions of ourselves, to confuse, to break. The only certainty I had now was what I felt in Pedrinho's hug. No one fakes that. That fear, that innocence. But Raphael didn't stop. They want the formula, but they also want you. Not because of the chemistry, but because you're the only variable Anna could never control. Do you think she loves me? I know she does. Then why did she disappear? Raphael handed me a new passport, money, coordinates. You have a choice. Stay here and wait to be captured, or head to Buenos Aires. There you'll find someone called La Viuda. She knows where Anna is. Maybe, if she's alive. And the hard drive? Take it with you. The world needs to see this, but not now. First, find your family. Family. The simplest and most heartbreaking word of all. That night, before sleeping, I found myself looking at the ampule for the 100th time. So small, so clean, so capable of ending everything. But if Anna was still alive, then nothing had ended. I arrived in Buenos Aires with a fake name and a real fear. Every face on the street could be a pursuer. Every step behind me, a harbinger of the end. But I kept my focus. Find La Viuda. She didn't live. She hid. In an old hotel, near the border of the San Telmo neighborhood, where past and present blur. Damp walls, heavy curtains, a woman with white hair, gray eyes, low voice. You're the traitor's husband. She didn't betray. She betrayed us all, because she fell in love. La Viuda spoke with contained anger, a sadness in the form of poison. Anna was her pupil, her promise, the woman who would continue the resistance's legacy, until she met Jorge, until she had children, until she chose love. She destroyed everything for you, said La Viuda, and yet she left you. She did it to protect me, or to finish what she started, without you getting in the way. I wanted to scream, but I knew it wouldn't help. La Viuda, I just want to know where she is. And why would I help? Because I have this. I took the hard drive from my pocket, placed it on the table. She didn't touch it, just looked. This is a death sentence, or the only chance for redemption we have. She stared at me, for long seconds. She's alive, but not for long. My heart raced. She's being kept in a medical base, used as a guinea pig to test immunity to the compounds she herself helped create. Location? Patagonia, southern border, base 47, former military installation. How do I get there? You don't, unless you want to die before crossing the gate. Then you come with me. La Viuda smiled, bitter. I haven't been in the field for 15 years. It's time. She picked up the hard drive, looked again. Are you sure you still love this woman? I'm sure I don't know how to live without her anymore. The next day we left. 2 figures without a flag. 2 traitors from different systems. One mission, save Anna. The road to the south was long, cold, and deserted. Patagonia seemed like a separate planet. Silent mountains. Sky that weighed on the shoulders. The world fell silent as I approached the woman who still lived in my dreams. And in my nightmares. La Viuda drove as if each curve was the last. Calculated, precise, but there was fear in her eyes. Fear of reunion. Fear of what Anna might have become. You know she may not be the same anymore. I'm not either. We slept in abandoned gas stations, ate cold canned food, spoke little. The silence filled the space that words could no longer reach, until we saw the gates. Base 47. Electric fences, drones, armed guards, no identification. There, Anna was being kept alive out of interest. They didn't kill her because she was still useful. But for how long? La Viuda, what do we do now? We create a distraction, and enter like ghosts. And that's what we did. La Viuda cut the power with an old code, a blackout of 10 minutes. Time enough to pass through the fences, hide among vehicles, reach the medical wing. Each step was a sentence, each shadow a possible end. And then I saw her, Anna, strapped to a gurney, wires everywhere, thin, pale face, but the eyes were still hers. Jorge, she whispered. It's me, she cried without making a sound. As always. La Viuda covered us while I undid the restraints. The formula? Anna asked. Still with me. She smiled weakly. Then we still have a chance. Alarm went off. They knew. It was no longer escape. It was war. And this time, the truth came with it. The siren cut through the air like a knife. Red, pulsing, infinite. Shouts began to echo through the corridors of the base. Orders in code. Running. Doors slamming. Weapons being cocked. And in the middle of the chaos, I held Anna in my arms as if I could carry her back to life, with the strength of an embrace. "Can you walk?" I asked. "If it means getting out of here, I can fly." She was weak, but smiling, even if inside she was crumbling. There were bruises on her arms, new scars, tests, needles, silent tortures of a system that disguises cruelty with a white coat. La Viuda appeared. 2 minutes before they reactivate the security network. "We have to leave now." "How?" I asked. "Emergency route, through the basement, but it's risky." "More than dying here?" She didn't answer. She just guided us. We descended through narrow corridors, without light. Only the flashlight on La Viuda's watch illuminated the way. The floor trembled. Footsteps came from above. They were hunting us like rats in a maze they knew better than anyone. "They wanted to know how Anna resisted the compound," said La Viuda amid the race. "They were trying to create a definitive host. And did they succeed? Almost. But she sabotaged the data. That's why they imprisoned her," Anna confirmed with a look. "Weak, but determined. If these data leak, it could mean the silent extinction of millions. And if they don't leak, what changes?" La Viuda stopped, looked at me. "Do you still believe the world deserves to be saved?" "I don't know what I believe anymore. I just know who I love." Anna squeezed my hand, and we continued. At the end, an abandoned elevator. Open doors, broken cables, a bottomless pit, the only way out. "Do we have ropes?" I asked. La Viuda took them from her backpack. "You go down first with her. I'll cover." She tied the rope, threw it into the shaft. I looked at Anna. "It's going to work. If it doesn't, at least we tried." We descended, in the dark, in fear, in the last hope. The tunnel smelled of rust and urine. It was narrow, damp, an open wound under the earth. The rope slipped between my fingers. Each meter felt like a goodbye. Up above, shots, screams. La Viuda holding back the chaos for a few more seconds. When Anna's feet touched the ground, she fell to her knees. "Just give me a minute," she whispered. But we didn't have minutes. I ran to her, lifted her in my arms. "Carry me just one more time, then I'll walk." I continued down the tunnel with her body in my arms. My shoulders burned. My legs faltered. But I wouldn't let go. Not again. Never again. We reached an opening hidden by branches and stones. The exit. The world. We emerged in the middle of a grove. Silent. Cruelly beautiful. A truck was waiting with the engine running. A man with a lowered hood. Hands on the wheel, impassive. "Code?" he asked. "Red moon over still water." The engine roared. It was La Viuda's contact. She was still alive in there. Or dead. But she gave us time. We got into the car. The ampule still with me. The hard drive in Anna's pocket. The last evidence. The last gasps of truth. The road was a straight line to the end of the world. "Will they come after us?" I asked. "They always will." "And the data? Is it safe?" "More than ever. It's with someone who will know what to do." "Who?" She smiled weakly. "You." Silence. Anna was handing me the world. The chaos. The chance to save or destroy. "You trust me with this?" I asked. "I have no one else." And for a moment, I understood what it meant to love someone even when everything had been a lie. Because there, between death and the end, there was still us. We arrived at a safe house. Hidden cabin. New base. New chance. "Rest," I said. Anna passed out before answering. The driver looked at me. "You need to decide soon." "What? Whether to leak or hide it forever?" The clock showed midnight. The deadline. The truth at my fingertips. The world in my hands. The hard drive was on the table. The ampule beside it. 2 keys to hell, or to the cure. I watched Anna sleep on the old couch, covered by a stained sheet. Her face, even hurt, was still home. But time was running out. On the computer, 4 servers awaited connection. Free media. Secret newsrooms. Dark channels of the underworld. 1 click and everything would become public. 1 click and the world would know what Anna discovered. 1 click and we would never go back. I took the ampule in my hands. So light, so clean. Inside, the formula capable of killing millions, or saving just as many. Anna woke up, looked at me. "You're still here?" "I am. And I don't know if I'll stay." She sat up with effort. "You've always been the anchor. I was the storm. But even anchors get lost, Anna." She nodded, then pointed to the hard drive. "Want to know what's on there?" "Yes. Evidence of tests on vulnerable populations, transfer codes, contracts between governments, the final formula, and our children." "What do you mean?" "They were also monitored. Since birth. They wanted to know if they could be used as carriers." "No. They didn't arrive in time. I sabotaged it. But that's why they wanted to kill me." I was trembling. "They were just children. That's why I ran. That's why I lied. Because if you knew, you would never have let me go." I approached, took the hard drive, turned on the computer. "Are you really going to do this?" she asked. "Would you?" "Yes, but I'm not you." I looked at the screen, the links blinking, the world waiting, and then I pressed enter, sent everything. In seconds, there was no turning back. Anna got up slowly and hugged me. "Now we're public enemies #1. No, now we're truthful. And if we're going to die, let it be fighting. Because silence has already killed too much." The complete upload took 13 minutes. During that time, Anna never took her eyes off the door. I never took my eyes off her. And the world, unknowingly, was preparing to wake up to a moral earthquake. When the upload was complete, the silence in the cabin was too heavy. Not even the birds dared to sing. The driver, who had barely spoken during the entire journey, received a signal on the portable radio. 3 minutes. Anna stood up. "They already know. Do you think they'll kill us here?" "No, not yet. They'll try to hunt us first, torture us, expose us, turn us into an example." The cold logic of destruction. Anna wiped the dried blood from the corner of her mouth. "Do you regret it?" "What?" "Following me. Believing." I looked at her. "I would regret it if I had remained silent." She took a deep breath. "Then let's finish this." We gathered the essentials. The hard drive had already been sent. The real ampule was hidden inside the lining of my jacket. The thermal box left behind. We burned the papers, erased our footprints, transformed that cabin into a ghost. The driver took us to the border, a place without a name, a village abandoned by maps and governments. There, a contact of La Viuda was waiting, a woman with hard eyes and the heavy accent of the north. "You have 10 hours before the hunts begin." She gave us 2 new documents, ordinary clothes, burnable phones. Anna received a chip with coded instructions. I, a watch with a secure GPS. "What's the plan?" I asked. "Disappear. Vanish from the world. Die without dying. Is that living? That's resisting." The woman left without saying goodbye. We stayed in a dirty room with low mattresses and the smell of gasoline. But there, lying side by side between moldy walls, we were just Jorge and Anna again, without weapons, without codes, without lies. "If everything ends tomorrow," Anna said, "I want you to know you were the only truth I carried with me." And I said nothing. I just held her hand. That night, the city didn't sleep, because the world, outside, was already beginning to react. The next day, the chaos began. The first headlines appeared on alternative networks. Secret formula for biological weapons leaked. Then came the videos, the images, the evidence. Anna in secret meetings, the documents, the transactions, the codes, the deaths. In a matter of hours, the leak became the center of a global hurricane. Countries denied, institutions refuted, But the damage was already done. The truth was like acid, impossible to contain. Our faces appeared on blacklists, on forums, in news reports. The fugitive couple, the man who betrayed the world to save it, the woman who loved too much to obey. The reward for information about us exceeded millions. Anna looked at the phone coldly. Now we're officially enemies of the system. We are what we've always been. Variables. We hid in places that would have been uninhabitable before. We slept in train graveyards, in broken-into houses, in abandoned caves, always moving, always fleeing, but never felt so alive, because now, finally, everything had been said. The truths could no longer be silenced. People began to rise up. Protests, denunciations, journalists emerging from the shadows, scientists publishing cross-referenced data. The truth multiplied like a virus, but a virus that healed. The AT-27 compound became a common name. Groups demanded international investigations. Countries broke agreements. And us? We watched from afar, with tired eyes and full hearts. The children were with Carolina, protected, off the radar. We talked by audio once a week, never video, never long calls. "When are you coming back?" Mariana asked in one of the audios. "Soon," I replied. "Promise?" "I promise, princess. But I didn't know if I could keep it, because freedom has a price, and ours had not yet been fully paid. We are now somewhere in Central Asia, nameless, without documents, but alive. Anna works in an improvised laboratory, not to create, but to undo, develops antidotes, vaccines, hope. I teach chemistry to local children, with wooden boards and broken chalk. They laugh. And I remember Pedrinho's laughter, Guilherme's gaze, Mariana's strength. We live a small life, but a real one. And with each step, we carry the weight of what was done, and what can still be done. Sometimes, Anna wakes up in the middle of the night, sweating, shaking. "Bad dreams?" I ask. "No. Memories." "Do you regret it?" "No. Neither do I. Because in the end, what we have left is this: love. The love that destroyed the world we knew. The love that saved the world that would come. Today, we complete 2 years since the day we pressed enter. The truth remains alive, but the hunt never stopped. We still have eyes upon us. We still live in fear, but also with purpose. If you've heard this story up to here, I want you to stop and answer. What hurts more, keeping the silence or releasing the truth? Comment now, below. Tell me where you're listening from, what time it is there, how this story touched you, and if you too have lived between truths and lies, between love and betrayal, between fear and courage. Leave a sign, a word, an emoji, a memory, because the world needs to know we're not alone. And if you want part 4, comment, "I choose truth," because stories like ours don't end. They continue in the scars, in the eyes that refuse to look down, in the silence that no longer silences.